Welcome guys to the Rotus review, where if you love movies, this show is for you. Now today, in honor of the release of Doctor Strange, the final superhero movie of 2016, we are going to be ranking all 6 movies, superhero movies, that have been released this year. We're also going to do a Rotus rapid review where we quickly talk about the film, merits and demerits, and also just apply a quick rating and ranking. Now, 2016 has been a tough year. If the events of November the 8th are anything to go by, then we're going to need all the help that we can get from superheroes to battle the possibly greatest threat that this world has ever seen. No, I'm not talking about Darkseid. No, I am not talking about Thanos. I'm talking about this guy. Yeah, that's right. It's that kind of year where we need all the help that we can get. So without further ado, let's count down the 6 movies and rank them that have been released in 2016. All right, at number 6, it's Suicide Squad, but I'm not going to take up any extra time talking about this film because we already have a full episode on the Rotus review dedicated to this movie, which you can find right here. Now, if you are a subscriber to the Rotus Review, you can find it on our YouTube page, which is Rotus Review Episode 4. If you are not subscribed, what are you waiting for? What do you have to lose?
What the hell do you have to lose?
All right, click right here to subscribe to the Rotus Review so you can check out all our previous reviews. At number 5 is Xmen Apocalypse. Now, this was released in May of this year. It is the 3rd movie in a trilogy that started with X-Men First Class in 2011 and X-Men Days of Future Past in 2014. The X-Men franchise is full of trilogies. Next year, I believe in March of 2017, we're going to be seeing the 3rd and final Wolverine movie, Logan, which stars Hugh Jackman. Over the course of like 17 years, between 2000 and 2017, we've seen we will have seen 9 X-Men movies broken down into 3 separate trilogies. As far as Apocalypse is concerned, with the plot of the film, he's asleep for thousands of years. He wakes up, he plans world domination, and he does so with the help of his 4 horsemen. They're named after the 4 biblical horsemen, which are nicknamed famine, war, pestilence, and death. Or, if you're a Nigerian in 2016, the executive branch, the legislature, the judiciary, and this guy here. Now, I didn't find Apocalypse all that scary. The guy looked like a great big smurf, okay? He was more menacing in the cartoon. Also, there is a major plot hole. Take a look at Magneto in X-Men First Class, which was based in the 1960s. Now, take a look at Magneto again in X-Men Days of Future Past, which was based in the 1970s. And then take a look at Magneto for a 3rd time in X-Men Apocalypse, and you'll notice that he has not aged in 20 years. I mean, the only way you can achieve something like that is like Bobrisky level bleaching. As far as the 4 horsemen are concerned, Psylocke, Magneto, Storm, and Angel, they didn't bring anything new to the movie, all right? I was not impressed with what they brought. You have to go back and see where the previous films in the trilogy are coming from. They were much, much better. This movie felt like a step down, and as a result, I didn't enjoy it very much at all. So X-Men Apocalypse, I gave 2.5 stars out of 5. At number 4 is possibly the most controversial 2016 superhero movie, Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice. This was like Buhari versus Jonathan from 2015 all over again. Public opinion on this movie was divided, and I'll admit I like the movie, okay, but I think that's mostly because I worship Superman as a god.
It's true.
Now, I do understand the legitimate criticisms of this film. First of all, the first half of the movie was a major drag. It was plodding along. It was very, very slow. I've seen this movie multiple times, and I've noticed that now, whenever I watch it, I skip to the end to try to see the fight scenes, and I skip the first half. Speaking of the fight scenes, the fight scene between Batman and Superman, very poor choreography, wasn't impressive, wasn't eye-catching. Also, the same criticisms from Man of Steel are also here in this movie. Too dark, too grim. Superman is moping all over the place. And so these are legitimate criticisms that I accept, even though I personally like the film. But to be honest, if I think about it, why I really like the film is based on nostalgia and seeing Superman again on the big screen. So being that as it may, this movie had a lot of potential. It could have been much, much better, but I give Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice 2.5 stars out of 5. At number 3, we have Deadpool. Deadpool was released on Valentine's Day this year.
Wrong.
And stars Ryan Reynolds as the masked anti-hero. The movie also features mutants Colossus and one of the coolest and longest names in the superhero universe, Negasonic Teenage Warhead. Sounds like a nuclear weapon. Gina Carano is also in this film. She plays Angel Dust. Now, the first time we saw Deadpool on the big screen was way back in 2009 in X-Men Origins Wolverine. But that character was a complete mess. I mean, nobody liked him at all. He didn't get to speak and he was completely off kilter. So they got it right this time. First of all, this is an adult superhero movie. I think it was rated R, so there's lots of sex, violence, and rock and roll. Ryan Reynolds completely embraced the role. He was witty, he was funny, he was sarcastic, and the comedic timing was on point. The supporting cast was also very, very good. Deadpool was a huge success. The movie only cost about $50 million and ended up making over $700 million worldwide. I can't wait for the sequel. Looking very much forward to Deadpool 2. I give this movie an enthusiastic 3.5 stars out of 5. All right, at number 2 is our very last entry for superhero movies for the year, Doctor Strange. Now, it was released last week. It's playing in theaters everywhere across Nigeria, and it stars Benedict Cumberbatch in the lead role as the Sorcerer Supreme. Also, there is Naija representation in the form of Chiwetel Ejiofor, who plays Baron Mordo, and Tilda Swinton plays the Ancient One. Now, there's a little bit of beef here because the Ancient One is an Asian character. Tilda Swinton is a white woman. So there was some backlash when the casting was announced because, of course, people would have preferred for a minority to have been played in that role. However, on the flip side, Chiwetel Ejiofor is a black man, and his character, Baron Mordo, is white. Now, why is it that nobody was as upset with him as they were with Tilda Swinton? It's because of minority representation. With what's going on in Hollywood right now, people are less likely to be upset about a minority taking a role whose source material is white, because there aren't that many minorities in Hollywood, as they are when a white person is cast in a role that they feel should be for a minority. A good example of that is a movie coming out next year, Ghost in the Shell, which is based on a Japanese manga series. Now, the lead character is Asian, but for the film, they cast Scarlett Johansson, who is a white woman. Lots of backlash over that. Anyway, back to the film. Tilda Swinton did a great job playing the Ancient One. The cast and crew is solid. This is a funny movie. It is a well-balanced movie, and it does not drag like Batman vs. Superman. You are kept interested from start to finish. At least I was, and I thought the movie was really, really good. Also, the villain in this movie is menacing and scary. I'm talking to you, Suicide Squad and Xmen Apocalypse. I've seen this movie 3 times already. I've enjoyed it each time. I encourage everyone to go check it out. I give Doctor Strange an enthusiastic 4 stars out of 5. All right, and that brings us to our number 1 superhero movie for 2016. I think you know what movie this is. Slow, predictable drum roll. Captain America Civil War. I have nothing but good things to say about this film. It was released in May of this year, early May, before Xmen Apocalypse. It made over $1 billion worldwide, and it deserved every single cent. We are introduced to the Black Panther. We are introduced to a very hilarious Spider-Man. The movie is action-packed, and also, importantly, there are multiple characters in this film. However, each and every character has a believable motivation for why they are fighting on their respective sides. This is something that a lot of superhero movies struggle with when they have multiple characters, keeping them relevant. Suicide Squad. But this movie handles them very, very well. I thoroughly enjoyed this film. I've seen it so many times. Critics everywhere loved it, but the only critic you care about is Rotus Review. I give this movie an enthusiastic 4.5 stars out of 5. If you haven't seen Captain America Civil War, you're missing out. Go watch that movie as soon as possible. Now, regardless of what you think about my list, I want to know what your list is about. So do tell, do share if you agree with this ranking of the 6 superhero movies that were released this year. Be sure to comment in the comment section of the review. Also, send an email, rotusreview@gmail.com, or send me a tweet at rotanquote. That's ROTANKWOT. Let me know what you think about the 6 superhero movies that were released this year. Also, remember to subscribe so you can see all our episodes of the Rotus Review. Thank you so much for watching the show, and please keep watching the movies. See you guys next time.